Hey everyone, and welcome back. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for today's explainer. If you've been banging your head against the wall trying to figure out how to talk about the past in Spanish, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, our ultimate goal is mastering the Spanish preterite. That's the specific past tense we use for totally completed actions. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's just jump right in and conquer this thing together. All right, really quick, here's our agenda for today's explainer. 1. Mastering the preterite tense. 2. Time traveling with key adverbs. 3. 10 core irregular past verbs. 4. 5 examples in action. And 5. A fill-in-the-blanks challenge. Consider this your official warning, guys. You're going to want to pay close attention for that quiz at the end. Okay, Section 1. Mastering the preterite tense, talking about completed past actions. Let's just briefly set the stage here. Why do we even care about the preterite? Well, in Spanish, the preterite is basically your best friend when you want to talk about actions that are completely 100% finished. It's not about what you used to do, right? It's about what you specifically did at a given moment. Honestly, it's the engine of storytelling. It's what lets you say, I went, I saw, I conquered. Moving right along to Section 2, time traveling, anchoring our sentences in the past with key adverbs. Because think about it, to successfully talk about the past, we need the right tools. Verbs are great, obviously, but without time markers, the person you're talking to won't know exactly when these actions happened. So, let's take a little journey backward in time. Think of these phrases like your time machine coordinates. If something happened just a few hours ago, you're going to use esta mañana, this morning. Take a step further back and you've got ayer, yesterday. Moving even deeper into the past, we hit la semana pasada for last week, el mes pasado for last month, and then all the way back to el año pasado for last year. Locking these specific phrases into your memory is crucial because it immediately sets the context for the past tense verbs we're about to dive into. And with our timeline all set, we are officially in the instructional phase. Now, the main event today is tackling 10 core irregular past verbs from your study materials. We're talking about tener, poder, estar, hacer, poner, saber, querer, venir, decir, and traer. Now, don't panic. Because they're irregular, they don't follow the normal everyday rules, but, as you'll see in a second, they actually have their own kind of secret logic. It's really cool. But actually, scratch that. Before we even conjugate, let's just do a rapid-fire refresher on our subject pronouns. This is the foundation, right? It dictates exactly how our verbs are going to change. So we've got yo for I, tú for the informal you, él and ella for he and she. Then for the plurals, nosotros is we, ustedes is you all, and ellos is they. Just keep those players locked in your mind. Okay, now what is literally a game changer here is that even though these 10 verbs are completely irregular, they actually share a remarkably consistent pattern. Seriously, look at how the endings line up. For yo, every single one of them ends in E. For tú, notice that iste ending. The el, ella forms, they all end in a nice clean O. If you just memorize these universal endings and attach them to the irregular stems, boom! You instantly unlock 10 of the most common verbs in the entire Spanish language. How great is that? All right, Section 4, 5 examples in action. This is our we do phase. We've got the rules, we see the patterns, so let's actually look at how they apply in real everyday context using some sentences directly from our study materials. Let's break down the very first example. Yo estuve en mi casa el domingo. Notice how that pronoun yo perfectly matches up with estuve, ending in that E we just talked about. And hey, look at the time marker, el domingo, on Sunday. It completely anchors that state of being in the past. I was at my house on Sunday. Done. Now let's analyze our second one. Yo hice la cama. So here we're working with the verb hacer, to do or make. Because the subject is yo, first person singular, hacer transforms into hice. I made the bed. It's a completed action, right? Done and dusted. Shifting gears a bit, let's focus on the second-person pronoun. Tú estuviste en el río. Look closely at the verb here and make sure you clearly pronounce that iste sound, estuviste. That ending right there is your universal signal for the tú form when you're dealing with these irregular preterites. You were in the river. Okay, this next sentence brilliantly illustrates one of the coolest, most efficient features of Spanish, honestly. Estuvimos en Madrid. Do you notice anything missing?
There is literally no subject pronoun. The pronoun nosotros is completely implied just by looking at that imos ending of the verb estuvimos. You don't even have to say nosotros out loud. The verb is just doing all the heavy lifting for you. We were in Madrid.
And wrapping up our guided practice, we have ellos hicieron su trabajo. Here we're seeing that plural pronoun ellos linking directly to the hicieron ending pattern, which gives us hicieron. They did their work. Again, super clear, totally completed action in the past. All right, shake it out, take a deep breath. We are now officially entering the gamified You Do test phase. I'm going to challenge you to actively participate here. I'll show you a sentence from our study guide with a blank, and I'll tell you which verb we need. It's up to you to pull the correct conjugation right out of your memory. Ready? Let's do this.
Okay, here's your first blank. Ustedes blank enfermos. We need the correct past tense form of estar for ustedes. Think back to the patterns we just went over. Take a second. What do you think fits here?
Boom! The answer is estuvieron. Ustedes estuvieron enfermos. Why? Because ustedes requires that ieron ending pattern for these irregulars. Awesome job if you got that one right. Let's keep the momentum going. Challenge number 2. Ella blank ayudar en la clase de arte. So we are looking for the correct conjugation of poder, which means to be able to, specifically for the pronoun ella. What's the third person singular past tense of poder? Got a guess? Yes, it is pudo. Ella pudo ayudar en la clase de arte. Was she able to help in art class? Remember that ella form always ends in that nice, clean O. You are doing fantastic. Let's tackle the next one. All right, third fill in the blank. Yo blank que sacar la basura. Now look really closely at that blank gay structure. That is a massive hint that we need the verb tener to express I had to. So, what is the yo form of tener in the preterite tense? You absolutely nailed it. It's tuve. Yo tuve que sacar la basura. I had to take out the trash. Notice that classic E ending for the first person, yo. Okay, we have one more challenge left. Let's finish strong. Here we go, the final boss challenge. Ayer tu blank muy cansada. We need the past tense of estar. Notice our time-traveling adverb sitting right there at the beginning. Ayer, yesterday. So, for the pronoun tu, what goes in the blank? Take your time. The answer is estuviste. Ayer tú estuviste muy cansada. Yesterday, you were very tired. Huge congratulations for successfully navigating this. If you nailed that iste ending, you are seriously well on your way to mastering these irregulars, no doubt about it. Well, look at that. You now have all the tools. You've got the time adverbs, you've got the 10 core irregular verbs, and you've seen exactly how these patterns work in action. But don't let this knowledge just sit there. My challenge to you right now, as soon as this is over, is to grab a piece of paper and use these verbs to write your very own sentence. What did you do? Where were you? What will you say about yesterday? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep up the amazing practice, and I will see you next time.